Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. This is Guthrie Chamberlain, and I'm your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 7-day week, 7 Minutes of Wisdom podcast. This is day 319 of our trek. This week, we are meeting in camp around the campfire as we continue digging the nuggets of wisdom that are found in the book of Proverbs. So far, we've explored the first 22 verses of chapter 10, and we will continue to cover a few verses each day. The section of Proverbs between chapter 10 and 26 compares and contrasts bite-sized nuggets of wisdom that apply to our everyday life. I know that you'll enjoy it as we learn these lessons together. Thank you so much for coming along with me each day as we explore and consume these nuggets of wisdom. These bits of wisdom help us to live the rich and satisfying life while we are creating our living legacy. While some of the daily treks are a multi-part series, you can join us at any time and start along with us from that point on. If you would like to listen to any of the past episodes, please go to wisdom-trek.com to listen to them and to read the daily journal, which also contains some nice pictures. You can also subscribe to Wisdom Trek through iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play, so each of the day's treks are downloaded to you automatically. We are broadcasting from our studios at Home 2 in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're just putting on the finishing touches of the Wisdom Trek Journal Volume 1, together with the beta version of your Life Plan Blueprint. We should have them available for release real soon, and I'll let you know when they are available. Today and tomorrow we will remain once again at camp as we continue to dig for the wisdom nuggets that are found in Proverbs chapter 10, as we feel the gentle spring breeze blowing in our face. And we see the fire and smoke dance back and forth. I'm sure we've all experienced the wind shifting unexpectedly and all at once the smoke filling our eyes. Solomon certainly experienced this, as he also describes it as one of the nuggets today. Before we get to that tidbit, though, let's look at the situation where doing wrong is fun. And we're going to look at Proverbs chapter 10, verses 23 through 27. And you might think, is Guthrie saying that doing wrong is fun? That doesn't sound like something that he would present. Well, let's face it, sometimes we are either tempted or actually do wrong because it does appear to be fun. I am just as susceptible to believing this as anyone. So let's start with verse 23. Doing wrong is fun for a fool, but living wisely brings pleasure to the sensible. See, I told you that doing wrong was fun. That is, if we choose to be a fool. There are many activities that we may be tempted to participate in because they do look like they would be much fun. But we must always look at the long-term consequences of such action. Sure, eating pizza every night for a month may appear to be fun and enjoyable, but what would that do to us physically long-term? How about some innocent flirtation at the workplace? That may seem fun, but what are the potential long-term results? We could come up with dozens of scenarios, but I think you understand what I mean. To follow through on these short-term activities that may appear to be fun without looking at the long-term results makes us a fool. In contrast to this is for us to live wisely, which will bring us long-term pleasure because we will understand the consequences to making sensible and wise decisions. Now let's look at verse 24. The fears of the wicked will be fulfilled. The hopes of the godly will be granted. Fear. It seems so rampant today, and maybe it always has been. Even among Christ followers, though, it seems like they are full of fear and worry instead of living the rich and satisfying life that we should be living. I understand it a bit more for those who choose not to follow God's precepts, for they have no true hope for their future. Why is it that the fears are fulfilled? I have seen it time and time again, and it is called self-fulfilling prophecy. When we anticipate a certain outcome, we will subconsciously create the situation in our lives where what we anticipate does come true. In contrast to this, as a Christ follower, our hopes, dreams, and ambitions are much more likely to come to fruition because we do position ourselves in situations of life that they may be granted for us. And that is what Christ referred to numerous times in his ministry when he said, "Your faith has healed you." Verse 25. When the storms of life come, the wicked are whirled away, but the godly have a lasting foundation. This verse is closely tied to the previous one, but with a bit of a twist. When the storms of life hit, and they will for all of us, the people who do not have their hope in God will have nothing to shelter them. They will be tossed back and forth in desperation because they do not have a solid foundation on which life is built. But in contrast to this, those who have their hope in the Lord have a solid and lasting foundation for their lives. And although the storms may be fierce in our lives also, we can have peace because our foundation is secure. Sometimes God will calm the storms for us, but other times he shelters us and calms our hearts in the storm. Verse 26. Lazy people irritate their employers, like vinegar to the teeth or smoke in the eyes. As a business owner for most of my adult life, and as a person who tends to be self-driven, I understand the reality that is firsthand. A person who is lazy at work is a real irritation and a pain. Growing up on an apple orchard where we did have to work hard, we made vinegar all the time. And I have to tell you, drinking a little bit of it really hit your tongue and teeth with pain. Also, all of us have probably experienced sitting around the campfire when the wind suddenly shifts and smoke fills our eyes. It can be extremely painful. This is the type of pain that the lazy people brings to work or even at home. So let us commit not to be lazy. And verse 27, fear of the Lord lengthens one's life, but the years of the wicked are cut short. On a quick read of this verse, you may question this. I'm sure all of us know those who were godly people who died in the prime of their life, just as we know of unsavory people who have lived very long lives. Once again, we have to realize that Proverbs are general principles for life and not hard commandments. If someone respects the Lord and follows God's precepts, they will make wiser decisions for their life, and therefore will be much more likely to live longer or have their life lengthened. In contrast to this, if someone is foolish and does not follow God's precepts, then they are more apt to make stupid decisions and choices in their lives, and will be more likely to die before they would have otherwise. Today we have discovered and explored 5 more interesting and thought-provoking nuggets of wisdom. Take time to ponder them, let them permeate your thoughts, and impact your lives so that your living legacy will be evident to all. We will continue with the last 5 nuggets of wisdom that are found in Chapter 10 tomorrow. So encourage your family and friends to join us and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. That will finish our trek for today. Just as you enjoy these daily doses of wisdom yourself, we ask you to help us to continue to grow Wisdom Trek by sharing with your family and friends through email, Facebook, Twitter, or in person when you meet with them, and invite them to come along with us each day. The journal for today's trek is available at wisdom-trek.com. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, you are my friend, as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal each day. As we take this trek together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.